All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to OEMC. I'm Rich Gaitis, Executive Director of the Chicago Office of Emergency Management and Communications. Along with the prolonged cold temperature we've experienced, the most recent severe winter storm brought a significant amount of snow to the city with 17.7 inches at Midway and 7.5 inches at O'Hare. The weather system that came through yesterday and overnight brought whiteout conditions to much of the city, but particularly to the lakefront. The city responded by opening the barriers at Schiller on Lakeshore Drive and staged pre-deployed response equipment at various locations to ensure a quick response in lieu of an emergency. Additionally, we deployed traffic management personnel to Lakeshore Drive to provide real-time updates on conditions to the operations center here at OEMC, in addition to street and sanitation and the Chicago Police Department relaying information from Lakeshore Drive. We realize we still have work to do. OEMC is continuing to work closely with the National Weather Service, monitoring conditions around the clock. The lake effect snow has moved out of the area, and there's still a chance we could see some snow tonight and Wednesday. Additionally, city agencies and their employees continue to work around the clock, clearing snow-covered streets, conducting well-being checks, dispatching emergency personnel, and connecting residents to shelter. OEMC will continue coordinating response efforts with the city's public safety and infrastructure departments, private partners, and utility agencies to keep residents and businesses safe and informed. This includes hosting twice daily conference calls with our citywide partners focused on the coordination of resources throughout the duration of this weather event. These standing conference calls happen 7 days a week, regardless of what's happening in the city. OEMC will continue to send out emergency text alerts regarding weather conditions on Notify Chicago, Shy Biz, and Shy Lake to keep residents and businesses updated. Residents can sign up for Notify Chicago at notifychicago.org. Between noon yesterday and noon today, the 311 call center received 2,173 service requests related to the weather. Remember, when you call 311, please have patience or you'd like to have a callback. They will get back to you. The City of Chicago's top priority is public safety. We encourage residents to check on and provide any needed assistance to neighbors, family members, pets, and the most vulnerable, especially those who are elderly, have disabilities, or are homeless. Staying connected is key to being safe. If you need to request a well-being check or for information on available warming centers, shelters, and other services, you can call 311. Go to 311.chicago.gov or use the 311 mobile app, Shy 311. We'd also like to remind residents and businesses to be good neighbors, to shovel and salt the areas in front of their homes or place of businesses. I would like to thank Mayor Lightfoot and all the city departments, agencies, and organizations who come together to keep Chicago safe, not only during the winter season, but all year round. And now I'd like to introduce Commissioner John Telly of the Department of Street and Sanitation. Commissioner.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Rich. I'm John Tully, the Commissioner of the Department of Streets and Sanitation. As you all know, there's a lot of snow out there, and with the possibility of an additional 2 to 3 inches later today and into the morning. So as of right now, just to give you an update, we continue to operate at a Phase 3 program working with our partner agencies at CDOT, Water Management, and AAS Fleet. We've been able to add an additional amount of resources to bring our total amount of snow fighting equipment to 400 vehicles out on the streets. Snow plows will continue to focus on the main arterials and Lakeshore Drive and make sure that they're groomed and passable. It is our intent to transition into the residential areas sometime early this evening, provided there's no additional snow. Crews have been working around the clock, and I want to again thank them for their hard work. We are asking business owners to designate parking spaces for snow instead of pushing it into the street for residents. I saw that on the way up here on Madison Street. When we're cleaning the streets and snow gets pushed back out there, it just makes this process longer. So we're asking for a little cooperation. We know this is a big ask with so much snow out there, but we're working on relocating this snow. This is not the kind of snow that's just going to melt, so we've designated some areas so that we can start relocating that with some heavy equipment. Today, we have crews in every ward removing and relocating snow to these predetermined lots. We'll continue to prioritize snow piles around schools, hospitals, fire departments, and police stations. We ask residents, and this is important, to keep children away from these large snow piles as we relocate it. They're very dangerous, and the size of this equipment, and sometimes we cannot see, our drivers cannot see these children out there. We thank everyone for their patience and continue to adjust our resources as needed, and we'll continue to work with our partners here at OEMC to monitor the snow and ground conditions. The Department of Streets and Sanitation social and media accounts have updates on our snow response and our plow tracker at www.chicagoshovels.org, which shows our fleet in real time. Thank you, and please stay safe out there. And now I'd like to introduce Donald Bonds from CTA.
Thank you, John. I am Donald Bonds. Good afternoon. I am the Chief Transit Officer here at CTA. Throughout the day today, CTA has been working very hard to provide service in the face of extremely challenging conditions. The good news is that currently service is up and running along every line except the purple and yellow lines. The biggest challenge has been the amount of snowfall. Like many homeowners and businesses have undoubtedly experienced, we too have had difficulty finding places to move all the snow that's fallen. Additionally, snow has impacted some of our switches, which controls the movement of trains. That's what's impacting our purple and yellow line services at this time at Howard Station. Crews are working very hard with the aim to restore service on these two lines as soon as possible. Crews, in anticipation of the frigid temperatures and rapid accumulation of snow across our service region, CTA crews have been deployed around the clock since yesterday to help keep our stations, platforms, stairwells clear of snow. This is a very difficult job, especially in these brutal conditions, but the hardworking men of CTA, hardworking men and women of CTA are fully committed to doing the best job they can. On the bus side, all our bus routes are running thanks to the fine work by Streets and Sanitation to keep the arterial streets clear of snow. We're also working closely with Streets and Sanitation as well as CDOT to make sure bus shelters, bus stops are clear of snow. It is important to remember that with nearly 11,000 bus stops, this will take some time. If all possible, since the vast majority of stops are located along public ways, we are asking building owners and property managers to please assist in these efforts and try to include bus stops, boarding areas as part of their sidewalk clearing efforts. To help CTA customers plan their trips and check on the status of service, we strongly recommend visiting our website, transitchicago.com, or by signing up for CTA travel alerts, their preferred routes. We also have service information on digital screens at our stations and through the Venture app. This information is updated constantly so that customers can effectively manage their travel. Thank you. We have Mark Sanders, DFSS.
Hello, my name is Mark Sanders. I serve as the Deputy Commissioner of Human Services and Workforce Development at DFSS. The DFSS Human Services Division oversees operations of the city's 6 community service centers, including the warming areas located inside the centers during periods of extreme cold. The warming centers serve as safe spaces for residents seeking refuge and relief from the weather. 2 locations will serve as continuous overnight warming centers throughout this week. The 2 overnight warming centers are the Garfield Community Service Center at 10 South Kedzie and the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service Center at 4314 South Cottage Grove. Both warming centers are available 24/7 until the close of business on Friday, February 19. Also, daytime warming services are available daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Inglewood, North Area, South Chicago, and Trina Davila Community Service Centers. For center addresses, residents should call 311 or visit the Department of Family and Support Service webpage at chicago.gov/FSS. Due to COVID-19 safety precautions and public health guidance, cloth face coverings are required while in the warming center, and seating space is at least 6 feet apart. To help ensure the safety of unsheltered residents during the cold, DFSS and our community partners conduct daily outreach to residents experiencing homelessness on the street and in encampments. The outreach teams respond to the residents' shelter requests, provide transportation to available warming centers, and distribute coats, blankets, gloves, hats, socks, and other essential items. DFSS would like to remind residents to refrain from bringing propane tanks to encampments to ensure the safety of the residents living in those encampments, outreach workers, and others. In addition, DFSS and its partners are working diligently to navigate the snow and ensure scheduled home-delivered meals for older adults and are delivered by the close of business today. The Senior Home Delivered Meals Program is available to older Chicagoans who are homebound because of illness or incapacitated because of disability. Home Delivered Meals Program qualifications and details are found at 311. Please remember to provide any needed assistance to your neighbors, family members, older residents, and those most vulnerable. If you need to request a well-being check, you can call 311 or go to 311.chicago.gov or use the 311 mobile app. Next, we'll have Matt Bedeau, Commissioner of Department of Buildings.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to thank Mayor Lightfoot and the fellow commissioners and sister agencies, the private sector, and finally the residents of Chicago for helping us all get through this weather event. Chicago Department of Building enforces the Chicago Heat Ordinance, which requires that heat be at 68 degrees from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. and from 66 degrees from 10:30 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. We take this matter very seriously. Landlords have to provide heat to their tenants. There are no excuses. And fines for this can be up to $1,000 per day per event. If you're a renter and your landlord is not providing adequate heat or no heat at all, please contact 311 immediately. Don't hesitate. Don't be afraid. We're here to help you. We will send out inspectors and check to see if the heat is adequate, and if not, we will take appropriate action against the landlord. The department to date has conducted over 5,100 heat inspections and over 500 since Friday when the cold came down again. Again, penalties for this are very serious, $1,000 per day per event. We want to remind folks, do not use your ovens or other open flames for heat. Again, if you have issues with your heat, call 301 immediately, and we will be out there to help you. And if we have to, if you require relocation, we work with our partners at the Department of Family and Support Services to make sure that everybody has a safe home. Also, please do not go up on roofs to clear snow. Let nature take its course. Let the snow come down naturally. It's not safe to go up on top of roofs. If you have concerns, there are professionals you can consult that go up there and they know exactly what they're doing. But do not go up on the roofs. It is not safe. You don't know what's underneath the snow. We don't want anyone falling through a roof or falling off a roof. And also, if you use equipment up there, you're probably going to end up damaging your roof. So again, please do not go up on roofs. And if you're having issues with heat from your landlord, please contact 301 immediately. We'll be out there to help. And also, as everyone else will say, please look out for each other. We're all in this together, so let's take care of each other. Thank you.
I have one question while you're at it. Speaking of the clearing off the roofs, what is your level of concern about some of these older buildings in the city of Chicago under the weight of this snow? I think there have been 3 building collapses in the Chicago area since all of this stuff started, as
Well, this is Chicago. Our roofs are built for snow. They're built for a lot of snow. And, if there are a few instances, and there have been a few instances where roofs have collapsed, those have been in vacant commercial spaces that have been vacant for a long time. And there is probably some deferred maintenance on those roofs and exterior walls. Again, you have to take care of your buildings. If you don't take care of your buildings, whether it's rain or snow or high winds, stuff will happen to a building that is not maintained. Also, if you have vacant buildings, keep the heat on. The heat helps melt the snow and gets that off. But if you've got a vacant building that's unheated and you've had deferred maintenance on it, issues can happen. Again, but this is Chicago, and roofs are built to have a lot of snow on them. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Commissioner. You're also displaying some pictures here that's showing some of the shots that we took last night all over the city, particularly on Lakeshore Drive, but really all over the city. And these pictures help document the actual storm itself, and we'll be using it for after action. Like I said in the opening statement, we still have a lot of work to do, and we're going to continue working until this snow event is deemed safe. Any questions?
I do have a question for Dr. Arlen.
Oh, Doctor, let me see.
And maybe before the question, I'll just give a quick update because it may address it. So related, obviously this snowstorm has not just hit Chicago, but it's hit the whole Midwest. And in that context, we have seen delays on our vaccine shipments. No Pfizer nor Moderna doses were able to be shipped out yesterday, meaning none were able to arrive in Chicago today. We've also learned that no Moderna doses were able to be shipped today, meaning none can arrive in Chicago tomorrow. There are some limited Pfizer doses that are being shipped. We don't yet have the details about which of those may or may not come to Chicago. So what that means in terms of operations here, people who had vaccine appointments today in our city mass vaccination sites or pods have had those appointments rescheduled. We will be getting all of those people in, whether it was for a first dose or a second dose. We expect to get them all in early next week, and all of them will be in within the next 2 weeks. For tomorrow, we are planning to have our city points of dispensing open for vaccines as planned, thanks to all of the work from these departments to really clear the streets. We have done some rearranging. We don't want vaccine appointments to snowball and really get into a situation where we're needing to push them further back. So for tomorrow, if you have an appointment at a city point of dispensing or pod, those appointments stand. If you have an appointment at another location in Chicago, I encourage you to call them and talk to them about their vaccine supplies and plans. Unfortunately, most of our outpatient settings receive Moderna vaccine, meaning most of them, if they were scheduled to have vaccine appointments tomorrow, will need to reschedule those as well. We will be communicating with all of our providers as we get more information, and in the setting of the storm, all of the vaccine shipments have been moved up to overnight shipping. That said, where a lot of the vaccine is coming from Tennessee, Tennessee's been hit in a lot of ways even harder than Chicago and is not set up to handle this amount of snow and bad weather. We may see some further delays. Rest assured, we're working to make sure that all vaccine is being stored appropriately. There is no vaccine being wasted or that will need to be destroyed in the setting of these shipping delays. I do anticipate them to be minor, and that later in the week, Chicago will have received all of the vaccine that it is allocated for, but some of the timing is going to depend a little bit on the weather, not just here, but in the region. And then, did that hand? Perfect.
I did have a question for Streets and Sands as well.
Yep.
I know you said that you were looking tonight to start transitioning to some of the side streets.
Right.
Could you give any more specifics on where you plan to
Sure.
start? And then also plans for alleyways, where people have garages, things like that,
Yeah.
that are not able to have right now.
Yeah, so as far as the residential streets, we will be moving into all 50 wards, provided there's no additional snow coming. Right now, it looked like we might be able to do that as soon as 2 hours from now. It's around 5 or so. As far as alleys, we do not plow alleys, so which makes it difficult, I know that, but What we will do, and we will start tracking those alleys with our refuse trucks, and we'll start resuming refuse collection. It is our intent to work on Saturday to pick up Saturday too, to try to catch up on this. So if we start plowing in alleyways, you end up collapsing garage doors because there's nowhere for that snow to go.
That's up to private homeowners?
Yes, yes.
And then just a well-being thing, how are you guys doing in terms of speed, and what is the plan for your drivers in terms of
Yeah.
scheduling breaks?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long 20-something days, that's for sure. We're real cognizant of that. We adjusted our shifts down. You know, sometimes we run 16-hour shifts, and now we're going basically 12-hour shifts. So we rotate those in. You know, we unfortunately had an accident where we lost one of our people over the weekend at one of our salt piles, you know, so we're real aware of, you know, making sure people get enough rest.
And then can you give us any specifics on where you'll be locating some of these maps?
Yeah, well, we have predetermined locations. We work with the aldermen and the ward superintendents to identify these areas. We need to make sure that those areas are secure for children going in there because it's not just snow. Sometimes there's pieces of lawn furniture and everything else in there. So it's pre-identified during the summertime. One of the bigger lots is over by the guaranteed rate field. I think that's what they call it, Alsox Park. So that's one of the locations.
Strictly asking for media purposes, visuals and stuff like that. I'm not asking to release.
Sure, it's something that I don't have with me right now.
So guaranteed rate field.
Yeah, that's one of the larger locations. Okay?
This question would be for OMC officials. This is from Joe Ward from the Block Club. He's asking if many elderly and residents with disabilities are seeking help with shoveling their snow. He's asking, the city used to have a volunteer snow shoveling service called Snow Corps. Does that still exist? And if not, if it was disbanded?
That was a voluntary type effort that the city made a good effort to try to provide. Right now, our message is we're just asking everybody to be good neighbors, help out your neighbors, help out the vulnerable populations, especially those who are not able to help themselves. So that's really our message now.
And now is garbage pickup happening? If not, when would that resume?
Garbage pickup, I think Commissioner already addressed that, but garbage pickup?
Sure. Unfortunately, due to the heavy snow we had and the use of a lot of the same drivers for snow cleanup, some of the routes weren't covered over the last day and a half. We're hoping that gets better. Some people couldn't make it to work today. So we've been picking up all along. We will be working overtime on Saturday to try to catch up on that. And drivers, if we have enough drivers, we will put added equipment on. You know, but when it gets cold like this, you know, you're talking about problems with hydraulics and snow getting caught up. So it's complicated, but we'll get it done.
This is from Dana Carlson from CBS 2. She's asking, how would you handle side street snow removal without burying the parked cars?
How would you handle the side streets without?
With burying the parked cars, I'm assuming.
Oh, sure. Well, as I said, we are now putting, we use a lot of salt, obviously, and fortunately, the temperatures have been working in our favor. You know, they're not really low. The other part is we are putting additional heavy equipment, meaning high lifts, backhoes, semis to haul out some of that snow.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? If not, hearing none, then be safe out there, everybody, and stay warm. Thank you.